88.5% accuracy. Game review said that I played like a 2100, but I am rated 1430. Didn't get strong overnight. I didn't do puzzles. I didn't grind 10 games. I watched a GM thing for 1 hour, and here's exactly what I found inside his brain. 2 episodes. Eric Hansen E4 speedrun from 1400 to 1600 and the 1600 to 1800. My exact rating range. No pausing, no rewinding, just straight through, like I'm sitting in a classroom where the teacher doesn't repeat himself. And immediately I'm going to play 2 rated games. No break, no warm-up. This begs the question, does watching a GM actually change how you think, or is it just entertainment that makes you feel productive? I found out. Okay, so Eric plays aggressive, like genuinely aggressive. Every move has a reason, and he's also explaining it in real time. Why is he pushing the pawn? Why is he not taking that piece? What is he actually looking for in that position? And so I figured out 4 things specifically that I hadn't really been playing in my own games.
That involves pushing this pawn to e6.
First, pawn sacrifice is for position. He pushes the e6 pawn in certain positions just to reopen the position and get his pieces active. So most players at my level, including me, don't just give up pawns voluntarily. No, we think we are too attached to such material, and so Eric doesn't care. He wants the position, not the pawn.
I have an idea here. I am going to go g4. I'm probably going to queenside castle if you give me an opportunity. But first, I'm going to attack my opponent.
The second is to attack while your opponent is underdeveloped. It sounds obvious, but watching him do it in real time hits different. The moment he sees that the opponent hasn't castled, hasn't connected rooks, hasn't finished development, he goes for the strike. He doesn't wait, and the games end fast when he does that.
I've decided. The king is staying on e4. If I lose, I lose, but it's staying firmly planted.
King centralization in any games. Your king is a piece. Use it. I knew this in theory, but watching him walk his king straight into the center of the board while his opponent's king is hiding on the back rank, nah, it's a completely different level of confidence. Talk about aura.
I am going to chase you down. What's the move here? The icebreaker. Bishop c6. Doesn't look good. Something about the knight and the bishop. That's right.
Fourth, rooks or the open files. A simple concept, but watching how quickly he finds the open file and puts his rook there before his opponent even realizes it's available. That's the pattern I needed to see.
I blundered. Oh! Oh! I just blundered the game and he didn't see it.
And then he blundered. Bad, like game losing bad. His time was even low, tops. His opponents had the move, but he didn't see it. And Eric just kept playing, didn't even flinch, and eventually won the game. But here's the thing, it wasn't really all separate lessons. The more I got into these lessons, the more I realized the reasons behind this move, why he played them, why he was threatening, and what he was preventing. The more my brain started to think differently, not just copying moves, but actually looking for ideas. And then that's the shift.
So I was with the white pieces. It was a Caro-Kann game. Now this is all book move. These are all been played before. I haven't seen this queen move before. But nevertheless, I wasn't so surprised. I just know that I have to just play team pawns in the center, play normal development. But apparently, right on this move, I made a blunder where I lost the pawn with this tactic with a check. Now I continued. Now the old me would have just tilted straight after this and then maybe close the laptop for sure. But I stayed in this position and I kept trying to look for active squares on my piece. My opponent no doubt had he had +1, so you could say he was up material. But his pieces weren't really coordinated. Even at that, I still kept pushing. As you can see, I made another blunder though. This is just little subtle things my opponent didn't see. Now the reason why this is a blunder is because my opponent would have played this move here. And so he's threatening to play this at the same time attacking this. So that's why this is a blunder. My opponent didn't really spot it. Now, I put my rooks to the open file, and then before you know it, we went into an endgame. Now, from there, I was sure that I'm going to lose this game. My opponent just giving me random checks. But before you know it, I don't know what came over him. First off, he gave me this pawn. I don't know why. And then he gave me this bishop. And from here, immediately, I know that, yes, this game was win one. In fact, the game review said that I played like a 1900 while he is 1750, which I would take. I would take that. The second game was in Vienna. I was with the black pieces, and I'll be honest, I've actually recognized this position before from the screen draw, but I didn't actually play it very perfectly. I was just trading pieces as usual. I knew the ideas, but it was really fuzzy in my head, and my opponent was just playing very sharp, playing very well. For the most part, I was just hanging around. And I'm not gonna lie, me hanging around does not mean I'm playing like trash games. No. You can see that at around 88% accuracy, I was not just blundering, I was making solid moves. I was keeping my pieces active. I wasn't really panicking. But then I realized that he overextended. Now there was a little subtle tactic, so to say. This was one shuffling of pieces, but he missed it. Over to this move, 30 and 31, I realized that he pushed too far, and then I found it. I capitalized on that mistake he made immediately, and from here, you can see I took the rook. He completely resigned. In fact, the game review said that I played like a 2100, my opponent like a 90 pick, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't even know what to say about that.
So just watching a GM actually fix your chess, I don't gonna lie, I wasn't expecting such results, but here's what I actually think happened. It was because of this four concept. It was the reasons. Eric explained why he's making every move, and when your brain starts thinking in reasons instead of just the moves, you look at the whole game completely different. You stop reacting. Like he said, stop playing passive chess. You have to play active chess, not reactive chess. You realize that there's a shift. 1 hour is not going to add 200 elo to you, but I'm going to tell you that it actually changed the way I look at the chessboard. And if that keeps happening every time I study, well, that's the climb. Let me know in the comment down below where you are in your chess journey. I actually read them, that's a promise. The links to both Eric's speedrun episodes are in the description below. And remember, remain mysterious.